Well, Matt, I just want to thank you for all the hard work you've been doing, advocating for all the features that you want added to Battlefield because the devs listened and they're adding them in. I should really pat myself on the back because, according to the internet, the devs only listen to influencers. And so, luckily for everybody else playing Battlefield, they listen to us. And so, all these changes coming into the game, like proximity chat, server browser, all that cool stuff we've been wanting forever. I mean, it's really because
I like how this turned into an intro that finally was a compliment towards me, but then shifted towards a compliment towards you instead. You're like, oh yeah, we can't be giving Matt too much credit now. Let's shift this on over to me.
Well, you led the way, but
welcome.
Everybody needs a supporting actor in this. And, I was there. I got your back on this one.
But yeah, it's great news. It's fantastic news. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. And it's, I wouldn't say it was everything I was hoping it would be, but it was still much better than absolutely nothing, which is kind of what they've been giving us for a while. Not nothing, but a roadmap, finally.
Yeah. So anyone who hasn't heard yet, but you probably have if you're a Battlefield fan, DICE dropped a roadmap that was kind of saying that they're going to add just about everything we've been requesting to the game, which, and these are big ticket features too, dedicated servers and server browser stuff. So allegedly we'll be able to do community building. They'll have platoons in addition to that. So it seems like we're going to get a lot of community building tools, which is important. And something that a lot of people miss from BF3, BF4 days when you could join your favorite server and run into the guys that you like and all that stuff. So that's cool. Proximity chat, which I think will be interesting.
So I haven't heard mixed opinions that it's not mixed information that it's coming just to RedSec, or is it also going to the multiplayer too? Because when I watched the trailer, it didn't seem to indicate anything.
Oh yeah,
people
no,
seem to
I
be
didn't
convinced.
get that. Did they say that somewhere else? Because I
maybe
thought
they said
it was
it somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can't shed any more light on that. I thought we were just getting general proxy chat.
So did I. So maybe it is coming to everything, but
if it only goes to RedSec, that's going to be a major disappointment, I think, for a lot of people. Because I mean, the classic Battlefield fan is not really playing RedSec. So yeah. But it'll be interesting. I mean, like, I can't count the amount of times that I've been in a helicopter and like my gunner's like, "Hi, I'm going to shoot at that guy in the bush way over there." I'm like, "There's 4 tanks in front of us and like a platoon. Just turn your head to the right, bro. Turn your head to the right." And they're just oblivious. So proxy chat would be great. Maybe we'll start making some BFFs in there.
They have the perfect outline to use. They can just look over at BattleBit and just copy that the way it works, because it worked perfectly there. The fact that you can just hit a button.
Mute.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So if someone's blaring music or just being a degenerate, you can be like, and muted, and you just click one button and you're good to go. Yeah.
Well, what's so funny about BattleBit is like at the start of the round when like 64 players are all right next to each other, because they do 128 server count players in that game.
Servers.
Yeah. So you spawn in earshot of 64 players, and it's just like you got every song playing, people screaming, and you're just like mute, and then you're like, okay, cool. The annoying people are taken care of, and it's just a quick button, really quick button. You just hit it while they're blasting and insta mute. I'm like, man, what a good system that is. So yeah, if they can just copy and paste a little bit of that, that'd be good.
I agree. So that'd be nice. The one thing that I was let down by is I thought that they were going to be 3-month seasons again, but I was not aware that they're moving now to a 2-month season, at least according to what I looked at. So I was thinking we were going to get 2 maps, and two maps for 3 months, and then we'd be in the same position we are today. But it's now moving to a 2-month cycle. Does that sound right?
Does that mean we're getting 6 seasons per year? What do you mean?
I don't know. Did you see the roadmap?
I thought I did.
I didn't actually look at the actual.
I did look at it. I don't remember the 2-month season. You're gonna have to look it up.
That's why I thought they should have probably made this like more abundantly clear. Because I don't think I missed it when I first saw it. And my chat was like, no. So let me go down and see if oh my God, how is it this difficult to find a roadmap?
While you're looking that up, we can talk about some of the other stuff. The massive amount of remakes coming, which I saw some
Yeah.
people like not thrilled about it, and personally, I'm fine with it. I think chucking in a bunch of heavy hitter remakes is totally fine with me because the game launched with predominantly new maps. And so they put a bunch of new maps in there. Some of them are real good. Some of them are not so good. But it's like, yeah, if you guys are lacking on quality maps, just go look at some of the heavy hitters. Now, granted, I wouldn't lump Golmud Railway in with a heavy hitter, but the remake of it looked kind of cool. Like,
It looked gorgeous. It looked really nice. Yeah. They added in a bunch of buildings too that wasn't previously on the map. So hopefully they're going to try and alleviate some of the pain points that map had. Because as an infantry player, boy, oh boy, could it kind of suck at times.
Yes. Well, and even from the quick little clips from the trailer they showed off, the amount of buildings they added in already looked like they alleviated a ton of those big open crossing areas where you're just like, you're tank food essentially in that map if you try and get from one building to another. So it could end up becoming like a really great map, one where I'm like, yeah, this is way better. Also, I didn't realize how much bigger Golmud was than the current maps in BF6. They said it was 4 times bigger than the current largest map in BF6.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
Wow. Yeah, BF6 really is a tiny game, like in terms of...
I think that stat I'm a little surprised by, because it might be like the airspace, because the airspace that they showed off and like leaks and stuff like that was massive. I don't know if Golmud is that big. Maybe. We'll see.
You have to get out your ruler.
So I finally found the goddamn road map. Apparently every website was like, oh, we'll talk about it. We won't actually show the picture. So season 3 starts in May, and then season 4 starts in July.
Okay, yeah. So are they trying to catch up?
June, July. That's 2 months of a season.
Okay, are they doing that to try and catch up though for like some delays maybe? Because we had a delay this year, right? We did have a seasonal delay.
We did by a little bit, yes.
So maybe they're trying to get back on track.
Yeah, could be. And then season 5 is not shown when that's going to come. So but season 5 is going to have 3 maps. So maybe this is their way of catching up, and they're going to go to a 3 map cadence. Basically, it seems like they're going to a map every month cadence for at least the next 3 seasons, at least according to this roadmap, right?
Well, which after is awesome. After 2 seasons, and then the third will have 3.
No, because what
do you mean?
I thought I said 1 map is a month, or what did I say?
Yeah, you said
my brain is all over the place.
It's all right.
1 map a month for the foreseeable future of at least this 3 seasons coming up. We're doing terrible of describing this roadmap.
I know. I'm not following it. So the first 2 seasons are each dropping 2 maps.
Correct. And if they're both 2 months long.
I see what you're saying. You're mathing it. Okay. Yeah.
I'm using math. Yes.
I'm caught up. I'm caught up here. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't think about it that way. Because they didn't really market that to a degree, but
yeah, they didn't. So since we don't know when season 5 launches, it just says fall. It could very well be that, we're not getting it right, 2 months after season 4, like we are with season 4 after season 3. So I could be wrong, but the fact that we are getting 3 maps for season 5 makes me hopeful.
So it sounds like things are speeding up. So yeah, that's the other big critique that I think we've both shared many times now, is the quantity of maps dropping and sort of being a little underwhelmed by these smaller events and stuff. So it seems like DICE is ramping up. Maybe they needed that time to ramp up and figure out how they're going to deliver the content, but it looks like things are shaping up quite nicely. And also Grand Bazaar remake, like hell yeah, dude. I'm very excited for Grand Bazaar.
Yeah.
Granted, it seems like it's going to be very similar to the other Cairo map, but
well, it's close quarters. I actually think it's going to be way smaller than Siege of Cairo. I could be completely wrong, but if people are like, we want more big maps to have a Grand Bazaar. Grand Bazaar was a tiny map.
Oh yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah. It's the hard thing of we've only got small to medium sized maps right now, so we're not getting excited for more small to medium sized maps, even if they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Which I would say what the current season is pretty darn good maps. They're just not scratching the large scale map itch still. So you're like, yeah, these maps are great, but yeah. As for people criticizing the remakes, the plethora of remakes, because there's Wake Island in there, where Grand Bazaar, Gold Mud, a map, the other island map looks kind of Hainen resorty to a degree.
I mean, it has a resort looking building.
Well, the resort building, did you see how similar it looked to the Hainen resort building?
Yeah, I saw how similar it looked. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a resort.
All right. Fair enough. Anyway.
The map layout does not look like Hainen Resort at all, though.
Yeah, it's more weird. Splotchy.
It's definitely very weird. I agree in that respect. It it looks like a tropical island with a tropical resort on the side, and we don't even know if we're going to be going into that building. We probably will, but yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm not upset that DICE is making a whole bunch of remakes in the near future. I'm fine with that. I got plenty of Battlefield nostalgia. I could see a ton more remakes, frankly, before I get tired of seeing remakes. And I think they've proven that they know how to make good maps. Like the last season was 2 really good maps. They just haven't been doing good big maps because they haven't been making any big maps. So I don't think they have anything to prove in terms of like their ability to make a solid new map. DICE is fine on that front. I'm fine with them using classics for the big scale stuff,
Yeah. Especially since they are spicing it up because, as we said, Gold Mud's going to have some new areas.
Yeah.
They're reworking the way it looks like the train works, and then you have Wake Island with an overhaul. Like it's definitely different. It's got the middle objective where it looks like you're actually going to be able to use boats to take points, because boats, they're cool, but you don't really get to take objectives with them more often than not. And this looks like an objective that you will genuinely be able to take and hold on for your team, with also some infantry gameplay in the mix too.
I know. Attack boats are back. Wave physics and wave net code is back. Wave net code, that's what we've been missing since BF4, man. I'm excited for that. It seems like BF6 is shaping up to deliver most of what the classic games have offered at this point. So that's good, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I think most people are pretty pumped about it. I haven't seen too much, negativity around it.
Well, then there's also, they're reworking New Sobek City and oil fields too.
Oh yeah. Also, big fan of that too, because what's worse than having a map show up in the lineup that you're like, oh man, it's New Sobek City. All right, everybody leave the server. Let's go find a new server. Let's have some downtime while we set that up. That sucks. So it's like, yeah, why don't you just make all the maps good?
Yeah.
And they've obviously have plenty of practice doing that with 2042, and they went back with other games as well to do a little bit of map rework. So I'm a huge fan of this. I think it's great that they'll spend some time going back, because why not just make all the maps bangers, and then we don't have to be upset about having a crappy map in the rotation.
Yeah. So if they can nail those reworks plus bring high quality each month, like it sounds like they're going to be doing, hopefully. Yeah. We're looking good, at least in terms of maps. I think at that point in a couple of months we'll be in a good place. So it's all looking good.
And I know what you're most excited about, which is Red Sex solos. You were like,
oh yeah, and ranked. Whoo, baby.
Woo. I mean, they are doing it. It does need solos if you're going to be a decent battle royale. I feel like that's kind of a staple for most of them. But it'll probably pull me into to complete some assignments,
Try it out.
Yeah. But I think my battle royale days are kind of behind me, unless somebody launches some new epic battle royale that's just too good,
Yeah.
Kind of like Arc Raiders brought me into the extraction shooter. I was like, I'm not interested in extraction shooters. And then Arc Raiders comes along and I'm like, okay, now I'm hundreds of hours into an extraction shooter. Speaking of which, what'd you think of they didn't really show much, but they're starting to tease the new Riven Tides update coming later
Oh
this
yeah,
month.
I mean they're teasing it. I don't think have they shown any actual gameplay or video or anything like that yet?
There's Polaroid photos of
Oh,
it.
oh my.
Yeah, like their little blog post says Polaroid
Yeah,
photos of the new map. Um, and that's about it.
and
And
that's
it's
about it.
and
It's
it's
coming on the
hard to see.
28th.
Yeah, but there's also been a little teaser of that crazy flying thing. Have you seen those?
No.
Okay, so it basically looks like a UFO, some sort of massive object flying in the cloud cover overhead with some lights
Oh yeah,
pointing
I saw
down.
that. There was during the hurricane
Yes.
event. I saw that. Yeah, they were hinting of it at it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it's coming.
So there's more hints in their little blog. It's not even a blog post. Their little like data report from in-game character or whatever it is. Yeah, they're talking about it, hinting at it. So I think that's going to be like a new boss or mega unit you got to fight, which would be cool. I mean, because if we're sticking with the balls, quadcopter, spider, trifecta, which they have been. I guess whatever you called the shredder, floating cylinder character.
Sure.
Yeah.
It flies.
It flies now. And so we don't have a flying boss yet. We have some flying big fearsome things, but not a boss, So if this one's a boss, that'd be kind of crazy. How cool would it be if the UFO sucked you up, dude? Like pulled you up into it. That'd be cool.
Take me away.
Yeah.
Just take me away. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
I doubt it though.
Yes. Same. Are you playing much Ark these days or?
I got back into it a little bit, just off stream, just playing and getting ready for the new map because there's a new wipe coming out, which people are a little upset about with the way the expedition is working this time around, which we'll get in here in a second. But the last time I played was basically when the window opened and I lost all the progress, of course. And so I had to start over. And now I'm like, well, I'd like to at least be in somewhat of a decent position so that when the new map releases, I'll be ready to go.
Gotcha. What is the new reset stuff? I think I missed that.
So before it was money based for how many skill points you get. Now there is a window, that 5-day window. In that window, you need to get arc damage or player damage to a certain point. So the more damage you do, the more skill points you get. And this obviously has some people upset because it's like, well, what if I'm on vacation or I got work to do and I can't grind like crazy during that window. I was able to accumulate over the entire season, the entire time, money, and I'm okay with that. But now you're like requiring me to go in.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much it actually needs for damage numbers, right?
I tend to agree with that too, right? It's like, yeah, give me 2 months or 3 months to get the stuff I need. Don't give me 1 week to do it because now you're screwing over a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, I've got finals, I've got school, I've got work, whatever. Now you miss the season stuff. And I mean, it's kind of important if you're a dedicated player. You definitely want to hit those reset windows to get your perks, your bonuses.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So that's where people are a little upset by that, but I don't think it's the end of the world. We'll see how they handle it when the 28th rolls around. The thing I'm really hoping for with this map, take a guess. Just take a wild guess what I'm hoping for. Just Arc Raiders in general, more specifically, but this map as well. It's not waifus. It's not hot waifus. I know that's where your mind was going.
Well, I don't know. Just like what I want is just a big open map, essentially. I don't know.
Okay, so is there anything specific about the map that you want? Maybe something different, maybe something that the game could improve upon. I'm laying some breadcrumbs here.
New biome style, new environmental styles.
Yeah. I'm talking about endgame, an actual endgame.
Oh,
to Arc
okay.
Raiders.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I was being very vague, but I'm hoping that this is not going to just be hey, it's Stellamontes or it's Spaceport, but different environment, right? I'm hoping that this is actually like an endgame area where like it's going to be more challenging. There's going to be maybe potentially better loot, but it's going to because a significant difficulty increase compared to the other maps because there is a difficulty slider. If you look at so because if the dam is the easiest difficulty, right? It's or at least according to their chart, and then you go all the way up to whatever. So it'd be nice to have a map that's kind of an end game where it's like, hey, this is we're gonna see some challenging, more new content. I kind of doubt it, but fingers crossed, because I'm hoping that this would then be this is just my own copium and my own like headcanon of what I would do with the game.
Yeah.
Is new map, harder, like kind of like Cryo Archives, not as sweaty as Cryo Archives. There's no way we're getting that, but new content, harder content, and then a rework down the line of having actual good progression long term to keep people engaged and keep people coming back longer. Because that's right now one of the biggest pain points I think a lot of people are encountering with Arc Raiders right now.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I think honestly they could learn a few lessons from Marathon in that regard, where depending on what map you play on Marathon, your experience is going to be wildly different.
Yeah, especially just difficulty wise.
Yeah. So I like that. I think I would kind of riff on what you're saying a little too, is like, it'd be neat if they added maps that were like, really encourage PvP stuff, where it's like, hey, on this map, everyone's going to spawn at the same time. And there's like one cache in the middle with all the stuff that you're here for.
Well, they have kind of done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the recent event, right?
That's true. That's true.
Right. Yeah. Are people actually doing it? Not really.
Yeah. But it would be cool if there's a map that was like clearly geared toward that concept, where it's like, there's only one thing you can get, and either you kill the person who gets it or you get there first, and otherwise, like, not a big incentive to play the map. So you better go for it.
Yeah. I would like it to be more. I think what they did with the event was really smart, because I don't know if I want a map that's completely dedicated to that, but like events.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think, personally, so I don't think aggression-based matchmaking is terrible, but I will say it kind of removes some of the spice from the game and some of the magic of that first couple of weeks, because I think they confirmed that they added it after launch. Because I remember like every encounter was like, are they gonna be friendly? Are they not? And the amount of social interactions was fantastic. Now everyone's just like, hey, Raider, and just
it's way less interesting, and you feel like you're just grinding quests at that point.
Right.
And
until you want to go into PvP, and then it's just only PvP with everyone that you come across, which I guess having that is fine, right? So you get to kind of pick and choose your experience, but I don't know. I kind of miss the vagueness of it all.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about is like, if I haven't played for a little bit and it's like put me down into the noob lobby or whatever, and then I get in and I start playing and I'm like, oh, this guy's, being a dummy. He's not watching his corners. And I just kill him. And then they're like upset. They're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, hey man, it's Arc Raiders.
Children back at home in Speranza. How
do you know what lobby this is? Why would you shoot me? I'm like, because I want your loot. That's why. It's a extraction shooter. That's what you do. But there's almost an expectation of like, hey man, this guy's not cool. Get that guy over there, the guy that's breaking the rules. Yeah. And I'm like, what kind of game are we playing here? Come on, guys. So
it's not that that I don't like the aggression-based matchmaking, because as I said, it gets you to kind of have the experience you're looking for, right? But it definitely has lost a bit of that magic, I feel. But that could just be because of the honeymoon phase, and I am reminiscing on that instead.
If I were pulling the levers, I would try and change the ratios a little bit more and mix it up, because like, okay, I'm actually a fan of the like super noob lobby. Like if you just get into the game, and you don't want to get like dunked on by somebody with all the highest level gear who's like just sweaty, cool. Like match make some noob lobbies, and that's fine. And Marathon does the same thing as well. I think that's a really good system for these harder games. But once you get out of that, I would start mixing the lobbies a little bit more so. Even if you want aggression-based matchmaking, and if you're the crazy PvP player, it matches you more with crazy PvP players. I don't like it just so black and white, right? Because it feels that way now. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, moving into some other news, there's something I thought you might be excited for is so Fortnite experiences are getting new AI characters that you can just talk to. And
I can play with the boys, but the boys are just AI. Let's go.
Well, I know what you're thinking. You're like, finally, Fortnite dating simulator, right? You're like, finally.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. I can finally start dating.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in their like
Hmm.
terms of service, they're like, you cannot make AI. It's really funny. Like I'm looking on it for like their guidelines on how you can use these systems. They're like, you
Yeah.
can't make romantic AI. Is one of
What?
their things. You can't make ones that like give mental health advice and stuff for
That makes
obvious
sense.
reasons. And or ones that just generally are designed to endanger people's well-being and stuff. But
So wait, what do they mean by you like making? I figured it would just
so
be their AI.
yeah, well, it kind of is. It's so. Are you familiar with like Fortnite experiences?
Hell no.
No. Okay, so Fortnite is basically attempting and kind of is becoming the Roblox competitor, right?
Okay.
So you can do this. In fact, a lot of content creators are doing this. You can go in and make your own Fortnite experience. I think it's called like a map when you see it on the main page, and then you
Mm-hmm.
join it, and that can have its own set of rules and game modes and whatever you want it to be. It could be a
Yeah.
sim
Game inside of
game.
a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Roblox. Could be
Yeah.
racing, could be a sim game, it could be just a hang out and talk to people game, whatever. So
I got you.
within that experience, they're saying, hey, you can now have these LLM based characters, and those characters can chat with you and they can have a backstory and they can be aware of the environment and what's happened and all that stuff. I'm like, that's a pretty cool idea. For sure going to go off the rails, but it's a cool idea. Kind of like
Yeah.
their AI Darth Vader thing that
I was
they
gonna say
did.
the Vader
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Epic seems to want to be leading the way with their LLM NPCs, essentially. They've dove into it before the tech was ready with Vader, as we saw, and
Yep.
now they're
Yep.
diving back in, and I'm sure people are going to find ways to break this and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it, which will
Yeah.
maybe not look great in the long run. But also, what if the benefits certainly outweigh the negatives here, and like all of a sudden a Fortnite experience is like the greatest RPG you've ever played because all the characters are like super interactive and like can give you realistic responses to just casual questions and conversations. It's like that could be
Right.
pretty cool, man.
It could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah.
But I'm very hesitant whenever it comes to AI. I get why all these companies are pushing it because they want to be the first, and if you're the first, boy, will you make a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I know that's all. It's a company. They're all after that. But yeah, interesting. Let's see how it
Yeah.
plays out.
Yeah. I think we're a year, if not less, out from some bigger hits coming out that are going to have LLM type characters in them, where it'll either
Okay.
run locally on your own hardware or it'll connect to the web and like use a LLM API or something like that and have some delay. But I know NVIDIA is already, because anybody who's got an NVIDIA GPU can essentially run a simple LLM on their own computer. And so if a game comes out, it's like, yeah, you need an NVIDIA GPU to play, which is already like 97% of the gaming market. Then basically you can, it might not be that high. It might be like 94, something like that. But anyway, then you can play this game that has a character that responds to you realistically and has a realistic conversation, you know? And obviously there's huge limitations there. Like if you don't have a microphone, if you can't speak, if there's other like kind of limits there. But, you know.
Do you think people want this kind of content? Do you think they want AI in their games? Do you think AI is the big push that people like real everyday people are going to be using and wanting to interact with on a grand scale? Because like for me, it feels like, and I know this because I probably live in a bubble. Like I just don't want to see it. Like I just don't like. If as soon as I see something that was AI generated, a song, like yeah, the song is goofy and fun, but I'm like, it's like I don't want it. I just don't want it. You know? I just move on.
Well, I think there's a giant array of AI content, right? There's huge amounts of AI slop that I never want to see, whether it's posting on social media or videos that suck or whatever, you know, they just make tons and tons of junk. But from what I've seen with like modern tutorial systems that they're demoing this tech with, where you're just like, how do I craft a thing in Minecraft? Like this is just an example that to make it more relatable, because it was in like some some total war game. But say it was Minecraft, and you're like, how do I craft, a diamond mining pick or whatever? It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, here you go. Like, let me tell you how to do that. Let me show you a picture of how to do that, whatever. Those types of things I think would be great. I personally would like to see an RPG style game where the characters have specific ways of speaking, like you're playing a Renaissance style game or a fantasy game where they have a specific way of conversing, and then a certain set of knowledge, and then a certain set of knowledge based on you and maybe what you've done. Like, how cool would it be for a character to very realistically converse with you based on the publicly knowable things about you? So like, say you slayed the giant for the village, right? And then sure, there's games already that do this, but it requires a huge amount of planning and like chat tree stuff to update and all that.
Yeah, we're talking like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate, which took a massive amount of work. What if that level of interaction, but even beyond it, all of a sudden became available to like small indie teams, and now your RPGs are like way more dynamic, right?
Yeah. I mean, it does sound intriguing because basically, as a fantasy nerd, the idea of going into a tavern, talking to the tavern, the barmaid, and being like, what's going on in this area? And they have a dynamic actual conversation. You could talk into your microphone and literally have a conversation with them in the game. Like, that's ultimate role play, like 100%. But at the same time, that's not, I mean, you can curate it because what you're describing is, you put parameters upon them so that they can't say, like, they can't start talking about, world politics or what have you.
You see the game last week,
right? Exactly. Did you see the football game? So to keep you immersed, right? But at the same time, like, that experience, while it will be different for everyone, means that it's not really curated, and it's not going to be like, you don't know how well the writing will be. Yeah. Like, it could be garbage. Like, it could just be.
I 100% agree with you. I still want to see a game that tries it. Like,
still want to see a game that is. Yeah.
I mean, don't you kind of want to like just see what it would be like? It might be amazing. It might be trash, but at least we would know. We'd have.
At least we would know.
Yeah.
There is a part of me that is curious. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
interesting concept. I think
it's definitely interesting.
We're definitely going to get something. I have a hard time believing we're even a year out from that. There's something's going to drop very soon that does most of this, and not just this Fortnite thing, but maybe somebody will build something in Fortnite that does what we're talking about. And all of a sudden we're all going to have to start playing Fortnite experiences because we're like, oh, this is all the rage now. This is all the rage.
Hey guys, want to play some Fortnite?
Bro, it's coming. It's coming for you. It's coming for all of us. The Fortnite experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI taking over the world.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Pragmata. I had a chance to play.
Yeah. Okay. I know almost nothing about this. Okay. So tell me about it. Like, I'm like, Pragmata, what's that? But I'm excited about it.
Very basic premise is you are a guy named Hugh. You are going to the moon, to a moon base to investigate. I think it's just to see what's going on. I can't remember
what year is it. Like 100 years in the future or something?
Oh yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like crazy in the future.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you kind of got like more advanced spacesuits, but it's nothing like super sci-fi. There is super sci-fi stuff in this because you meet a young child named Diana, and she's a robot, and she can hack things, and she does all what a robot can do, but she acts like a child the entire time, except for when she's hacking. And even when she hacks, she does it. She's so adorable. She's just the cutest little, just adorable ball of joy, right? But the premise is AI has gone haywire. We don't know why. And robots are now killing everybody. So it kind of has like a Dead Space vibe, or Dad Space.
Because you have a kid with you? Yeah.
Because you're the dad. Sorry, that was bad. Anyways, that one didn't land. So it kind of has that vibe, but there's no, like, you don't come across any bodies. So it's definitely not going for like, this is a Resident Evil. It's Capcom, right? But there's no like death and blood and stuff like that. But the real meat of the game, and I think what made it so interesting is, and I've never played a game like this ever. And it's a AAA game innovating is there's a mini game every single encounter where you need to hack the robot to expose their weakness so that you can actually deal damage. Most, video games will have an enemy that has a weakness, right? You just got to shoot it. And that's in this game. But you have to do this mini game first where you have to kind of draw a line through all the different nodes that you want and avoid the nodes that you don't want, reaching the end. It's kind of like playing Snake a little bit. Reaching the end, and then it will expose the enemy, right? And then you can take him out.
And then it goes back to
damage.
Shoot the enemy in the weak spot.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So, but what makes it interesting is that each robot has kind of like a different vibe with the hack. They're not all like vast, and they randomize too. So it's not like this. You can't memorize necessarily like the route every time. But you'll have wide array of different robots in the room, all trying to attack you, and you need to be dodging, putting down abilities so that you can hopefully like slow them down and CC them to give you the opportunity to be able to hack them, to be able to take them out one by one.
Okay, so it doesn't pause the world while you're hacking.
No. Oh no.
Oh dear God.
So you are fighting bosses, and the bosses are fantastic, well animated, beautiful animations, and they're attacking you the entire time. So you will be doing this mini game on the side, and you'll be looking at it, and then on the corner of your eye, you'll notice the boss coming in with a huge hit, and you're just like, okay, I gotta dodge. And so I've had moments where I'm dodging, and I think that speaks to how well the character or the bosses and the enemies are designed and animated. Is that they're kind of it's easy to tell when an attack is coming, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then you're doing the hack, and I'm dodging left and right while hacking, and then finally getting the hack off, and then trying to do some damage. Yeah.
Oh my God, it sounds like a multitasking nightmare for me. My brain.
Yeah, it is a lot. Oh, I realize I'm kind of giving this a glowing review. I did do a sponsored stream for Capcom. So full disclosure, I would like to think that my opinion is my own, but I should disclose that.
Well, and also to your credit, I've seen a huge amount of praise from most of the internet regarding.
I think it's overwhelmingly
game.
positive right now on Steam. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've seen the visuals and have just been very intrigued by it. By like, what is this? It looks wild. Why is there this little girl with you on all this? Why is she riding you around in combat? I'm like, this is child endangerment. Like this.
Yeah, she's an android.
Yeah. That explains a lot. It's like, how on earth? Yeah.
I think the gameplay is really the gameplay and Diana and her relationship with Hugh, because you do kind of become a dad. That's the whole. It's literally the entire vibe. It's not like a Last of Us because Last of Us is very gritty and it's dark and it's depressing and you're bonding over kind of how miserable everything is. And this is much more lighthearted. It's much more adventurous kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. I am a little tired of the dark, miserable. Dystopian angle of everything. It's like, hey, let's have a nice goal to aim for, guys, that we're excited about.
It's still dystopian because like robots are trying to kill you and stuff.
Why isn't the little girl corrupted? Why isn't her AI messed up?
You guess you'll just have to play the game to find out.
Oh snap! All right. Well, it's cool. I'm glad that you're liking it, and it's a cool idea to mix up combat that way. I've noticed, and I've become a big fan of this. Is like, when you innovate like a system that everybody expects to be one way and you add or you change a thing to it, sometimes you don't need to go crazy beyond that. Sometimes just like adding one element where you're just like, what if you played a mini game while you are doing the combat sequence? And it's like, and if it's the right balance and you figure it out, all of a sudden it becomes amazing, right? And it's like, I would say Expedition 33 is similar in the sense of like they just changed up a few little rules about a turn-based game and everybody's like, it's amazing. Like what a cool idea, I'm a big fan of that, and I think studios are starting to catch on where they're like, hey, maybe we can innovate,
maybe we can do something different and bring something fresh. I heard just before the live stream that they sold 1 million copies, so they seem to be doing all right. Who knows what their production, because I think this game kind of went through a little bit development hell from what I remember. It took a while for this game to come out. But hopefully it's doing solid, because overall it was fun. I did beat it. It's pretty short. So it took me 13 hours to beat. I had a friend who did like most of the side. There's like some side missions, and there's some challenging stuff that you can do. These challenges, like 30 of them, which will give you rewards and stuff. And so he got to like 15 hours, and then he was done with the game. But there is a new game plus. There is like a bunch of like some things you can do after credits roll. So you could probably bump that up to like 20 plus. But yeah, Capcom has been really good at making kind of like a concise 15-hour game and doing it quite well. Resident Evil 9 was really good, and I'd say this is also really solid.
I love that Capcom is still doing well, and they're sticking to like their, sorry if you heard audio there for a second, sticking to their meat and potatoes of these sort of like, hey, single player experiences. And we're just going to do them so well that everybody's really excited about the concept and everybody's talking about it, and proving so many other developers and publishers wrong of like, hey, you don't need some crazy multiplayer gimmick thing.
Live service.
Yeah, no, like you play it through and that's the game. You're welcome, you know, and it's going to be great for those 12 to 14 hours that it takes you to beat it. But then that will be the game. It's like, I'm glad that business model still works. Like it feels like it almost shouldn't in today's day and age, but the fact that it does, I'm like, okay, there's still hope.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So I love that the developer name for Windrows is Kraken Express.
I didn't know that. It's great.
Just really funny. I see that you've been playing Windrows.
Apparently everyone's been playing Windrows.
Yeah. Very positive score on Steam. A little bit of
got up to like
piracy action.
Concurrent.
Yeah. Everybody seems to want to make it feels like every 3 to 4 years a big pirate game comes out, at least. And they're like, we're the next big pirate game. How does Windrows stack up?
So Windrows it's a oh boy, how to describe this? Because obviously it's pirates, but it is a survival game. So it's kind of the four horsemen of the apocalypse when it comes to Steam. So it's early access, survival, open world crafting, right? Which we've seen time and time again. But this time it's pirates.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice novelty thing about it is that you start off, you're on an island and you got to do you got to pick your twigs up. You got to get your rocks. You're making a hammer and an axe and you're cutting down trees and you're doing all that stuff, right? But then eventually you get a ship, and it's not just a small ship. It's a pretty big ship.
Yeah. Massive.
And they're ship combat, and you can go up to others and blast them with cannons. And once you get them low, you will literally latch onto them and it will have an animation where we'll come together. And then you get onto the ship and you start having melee combat. And you can, if you successfully defeat all of the enemies, you will then get a big reward for it. And you can just go out and do that to like any ship out in the seas, right?
And the visuals look really cool for it.
Like, the visuals are pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah, like as far as like trading fire with an enemy ship in a broadside combat, like it looks incredible. Where most games kind of do it cartoony or something.
It's obviously borrowing from other titles. So like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, you have Skull and Bones. Honestly, this is kind of like what Skull and Bones could have necessarily been, because you can switch between you're on the land, you're having the survival aspects, you're fighting bosses, you're fighting enemies, you're getting resources, you're building up to the next level, and then you're using those resources to then go on in bigger adventures where you get bigger ships and different stats on your ships and different kind of weapons for your ships and for yourself, because you've got an entire loot system for yourself as well. And it in a pirate setting, it's cool. It's very well done for a early access survival title so far.
It's such a big concept too. Like when I know when you said the four horsemen of Steam or whatever, where it's like open world survival, early access. Even though there's so many people going for that, those games are hard to do. Like it's easier to make a crappy one, which I guess is what you get a lot of on Steam, but to do that well, you're injecting a game full of a ton of systems, and this one adds pirate ship combat on top of that as well, which is just like, that's so much work to get all of
It's a
that
ton of
stuff
work, yeah.
working correctly. So excuse me for
And it
looking
is
at the game
working
through.
pretty well too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So performance, bugs, all that
Yep.
stuff seems to be
Yep.
solid.
It doesn't feel like this is not an early access where it's like, oh man, this is clearly rough. Like it's like, no,
Yeah.
they've done the smart thing where they basically got it pretty close to just ready. And I'm sure they're going to just be expanding systems on top of it, right? Instead of this being a complete work in progress.
Yeah. I'm curious about these developers now. Kraken Express. I wonder where they're based. Uzbekistan, as I thought. I was like, they sound Uzbekistani.
That would have been my second guess.
Okay. I've never heard of them, but okay. I mean, so that makes a little more sense because the scale and scope of a game like this, if you're going to build this in, say, the US or something, would probably be in the, I don't know, $50 to $100 million range. It'd be really expensive.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So maybe they're doing it a little bit cheaper in Uzbekistan, but cool. I like this. It seems like so many pirate games have failed, right? It seems like we've had a lot of really good attempts at them, and then they just haven't quite pulling through or been everything that we want them to be and fizzle out. So I'm all for them continuing to try because we all like pirates. We all like big old boats with cannons on them blasting each other in the open ocean. Like, if you can do it well, then great. You know, there's clearly a whole swarthy of people ready to jump on board for that game.
Yeah. And it has co-op. So you can play with buds and you don't have to like rent a server. So I played with my bud and he just joined me. Performance was fine. I never asked him what the performance was like for him. But he would just be off on another island and I would be off on another island doing my thing. And we were just in the same world. Like we were just existing and, which was really cool. Cause some games they're like, you got to be really close to each other or, lag starts to get really bad. And this, it was seamless. So I don't know what it's like if you have more than one person with you, but yeah, it was drop in, drop out. He could come in whenever he wants. Not really sure what the progression is like for him. But yeah, it was neat.
Cool, man. Well, that's exciting. Is it? Oh, it's not free. No, it's like, okay,
no,
so
like
it's
$30, I think.
I mean, that's also not that much for a game of that scale. Yeah. And it's on sale right now for the early access sale. Looks like.
Baby.
Oh, offer ends in 18 hours. Anybody listen to this?
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to pay the full price, man.
What is it normally? So it's $30. Now it's $26.99. 10% off.
Yeah.
They've sold 1 million copies. It looks like.
Nice. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I do have some complaints. Like the combat. The combat is decent, but they have this charge mechanic where a enemy will charge at you, and I swear to God, they will charge you. Like you'll have a boar, right, and it's about to charge, and you're like, I'm just gonna hide around the corner, right? Because obviously it can't charge around. Dude, bro, it literally just like
nice. That's old school MMO style, right? When they just are always moving at the same speed, no matter if they have to go through a slalom or something.
Yeah. And honestly, that's actually kind of how the combat feels a little bit, is that you'll come into these areas that has a ton of enemies and you need to kind of pull some of them where you're like pulling them away so that you don't have the entire group come. I was like, I'm kind of getting like some old school, MMO vibes right now, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So the combat is actually decent. Like you parry and you're trying to get perfect parries, and they've kind of got a dodge mechanic and stuff like that. It's not like the best, you're not, it's not incredible. Yeah. But I played the demo and it's definitely come a good way from that, because I remember really struggling with some of the mechanics during the demo. And yeah, if this is what it is in early access, it can only go up from here. I can't imagine them, making it worse. So
cool. Some of that really simplistic MMO AI style stuff is like Now, as like a game dev, I totally understand the cost of AI. They cost a crap load in games. Like any RTS that you're playing, which has hundreds of units, like those guys went through a lot to get that to work at speed. You know, they had to come up with some crazy trickery to make it look good. So like for MMO stuff, they're like, yeah, it can like move toward you, and once you're out of range, it's just going to go back. Don't worry about it. Like, that's about it. Like, it's not going to make smart decisions along the way. It's got its standard attack pattern. Don't worry about anything else. We can't spare the CPU cycles. And maybe that's how the game works to a degree where you're saying it worked pretty seamlessly joining with a friend. Well, if they can lower the cost of what you have to transmit across netcode to them, then that system can work well.
Oh, and the best thing, I should have mentioned, sea shanties. They hired a group to do sea shanties, and they're great. Like you go on your ship, and your men just start doing sea shanties. It's fantastic.
That's really funny. That kind of makes me think a little bit. Have you played Mouse PI for Hire?
I have not. No.
Okay,
but I might check it out.
They hired a real band to do their score for it, and
nice.
It's cool, man. It's like old timey jazz, but there's songs in there that you're like, this is Cowboy Bebop. Like, I see what you guys are doing. This is definitely Cowboy Bebop.
This is Cowboy Bebop, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. You can look up one of their songs on YouTube, and like it's the one that sounds the most like Cowboy Bebop, and every comment is like Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop. Mass PI is really cool. Like artistically, it's sort of like the FPS version of Cuphead in a way.
Yeah, at least the visuals of it.
Yeah, it's black and white though, and it uses that what they're calling rubber hose style animation. So
rubber hose,
that 1930s ish era of animation.
Yeah.
Visually, it's just a really cool game. The gameplay is a little basic, but it's one of those things where the world, the visuals, the audio, everything clicks so well that you're like, I don't even care if the gameplay is kind of basic. It's just fun being here. And
so did you play it?
Yeah. So
nice. Did you beat it?
No, not yet. Okay. Maybe by the time this podcast goes live. But yeah, it's like got detective noir undertones, but also with mouse, like a mouse world and cheese puns, and it's got a good vibe. I like it.
I heard that IGN was getting some grief because they were complaining about all the cheese in the game, all the cheese puns.
There are a lot of cheese puns in the game. I'll give them that. Like, it didn't bother me. It's silly, but yeah, you're in a mouse video game, so it's very cheesy.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Right.
Yeah.
IGN's been getting some grief lately, and kind of understandably, because like, man, you give like Mouse PI a 6 and you give Concord and High Guard 7s. It's like, man, I realize everyone's got a different opinion, and at the end of the day, reviews are just that. They're just opinions. But man, oh man, like it's easy fodder for people to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? These games were clearly huge failures. How are you giving something like that a 7 while you're giving something like this that seems I haven't played it yet to just ooze style and class and something lower than that?
Well, I think it's also like once you start to understand some of the economics of these game journalism websites, there's a lot of people who are given projects that, one, they're not well paid reviewers, so they might not be pulling from a high tier talent pool. A lot of the really good reviewers go on to become content creators because people like their writing and speaking style so much that they're like, yeah, I'll go watch your stuff. I want to watch this guy's impression of a game. And a lot of the people who work for that, and I don't want to say this necessarily as a blanket statement for everyone, because there's obviously a lot of good writers and reviewers for these bigger outlets, but it happens so frequently that you just get somebody who's like, yeah, I've never played an FPS before, and now I'm reviewing Battlefield or whatever. And you're like, this is not the job for you. But that just happens because they need somebody to cover it. And sometimes the person covering a game is literally who lives closest to the press event. So they're like,
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
who can we get to the press event to cover this game? Oh, Tim can do it, you know? And then you're like, oh, does Tim even like racing games? Nope, he only plays The Sims. Okay. Well, send Tim anyway. And then you're like, this review sucks. Guess what?
Right.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, they're not, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there is value to be had from that. And this is why I think IGN, I'm someone who doesn't care as much about scores when it comes to specific outlets because it's got the IGN brand around it. I'm just using them as an example. But as you said, Tim might have given that game a 6, while Alan would have given it an 8, right?
Yeah.
But they're still reviews. It's still their opinion, but it's under their umbrella. And how do you kind of make that work when no one's really ever looking at the name of the person who's writing the review? And so that's why I like content creators, or if you do have someone at a specific website that you like to follow, is to know who the person is who's reviewing it, because then that gives you information. Because if you know that Alan only plays these kinds of games but then played something else, it's like, well, I know what his style is, right? And so that is valuable information to me, because that's really all this is used for. Everyone uses these reviews as validation and not as an actual purchasing decision, right? A lot of people are like, well, some people do, but a lot of the time it's just like, oh, you didn't give my favorite game a 10 out of 10. You obviously don't know what you're doing, right?
Sure.
And it's it's because they're not you, dude. Like it's not the point of the review. But that said, I do think that IGN kind of puts their foot in their mouth all the time, because they seem to be very inconsistent for stuff like this at times, which can be, I can see why people are just like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. And I don't understand all the inner workings of their business model or anything like that, but I believe they make quite a bit of money by like getting game trailers out there and stuff like that, where
oh yeah, for sure,
a studio will want to show off their upcoming game. IGN has a huge viewership across every continent, basically.
IGN first.
Yeah. And then they throw the trailer out there and it's like, okay, well, if that's a good and successful business model where you're making a lot of money, maybe put a little bit more of that into your reviewing staff and getting the right people in the right games and all that stuff, so that you can have a little bit of a reputation for doing good reviews, where people goes, oh, an IGN 8 out of 10 means that game's probably pretty good. Not that some person who doesn't know what they're doing is just like, I don't know.
Well, I didn't mean to have an IGN rant or anything like that.
No, we're going after him, Matt.
Because I apparently IGN is actually harder on games than because everyone goes like, oh, IGN 10 out of 10, right? They're paid shills but like apparently statistically, I read somewhere that IGN is actually more likely to have a lower score than your average gaming website. But people have associated IGN with higher scores and being easy on titles, especially AAA titles, that they now have that reputation. And so they always will gravitate towards like, oh, they're paid shills the entire time. Even though for years now, they've actually had, they've been more critical, at least on the gradient of the 1 out of 10 score, right? Yeah, so it's tough.
And then it goes the other way. They're like, IGN 1 out of 10. This game's amazing. You guys didn't get it.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a tough part about being a giant company with all these different reviewers, and you're going to have moments where you do have someone who actually genuinely enjoyed something like a Concord, or thought that, even though it had problems, it wasn't a terribly made game. Like it had issues, but it wasn't.
High Guard was going to be an amazing game,
Right.
Reviewers
and then
can be
you could
wrong.
have someone. So they could have thought they could have just been a good mood. They could have been, could have been the right person for the right game. And then someone comes along and plays something like Mouse PI, where they just didn't vibe with it. They're like, just not for me, and they give it a lower score because of it. And so now you've got these two different scores, like just in your face, being like, hey, there's something wrong here, even when then technically it's not really wrong. It's just different people once again with different opinions, right?
Yep. I didn't even know IGN gave it a 6 out of 10 or whatever, but you could absolutely argue that the gameplay in it is kind of boilerplate, but it's really like, are you vibing with this world? If you are vibing, then you're going to like it, because you could kind of make a similar argument about Cuphead, where you're like, yeah, it's a side-scrolling platformer style boss fight game, but man, is the animation and music like a really fun vibe to be
I will
around.
say though that the combat in that game is pretty incredible too, though. Like it's hard as nails, but
Yeah. Those games frustrate me, actually.
Oh yeah.
They throw me back to like my childhood of like Sega Genesis, where you're like, I'm going to buy the Lion King on on this cartridge, and then it's like the hardest side scroller you've ever played, and you're like, I just wanna beat the Lion King.
Yeah.
Remember that game being like incredibly hard when I was a kid. Maybe it's easier now. Maybe I'm
No, I think some of those games were just hard for the sake of being hard.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm excited about a new show I've been watching. You watching anything good? Yeah.
I'm not watching. I was watching. I finished out Jujutsu Kaisen, animation quality 10 out of 10, story. Okay, it's fine. But animation quality was fantastic, and I've been finally catching up on Invincible. So that's been kind of fun too.
Cool. I don't know what Invincible is, but
you don't know what Invincible is?
What's it on?
You haven't heard of? It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's superheroes, but it's superheroes kind of but for adults.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You haven't seen the memes, and
I've seen the memes. I've seen this. I know what it is now. I just didn't know it by name.
Okay. Yeah, it's Invincible. Very good.
Yeah.
Or at least I like it a lot.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Mark Hamill is. Yeah, I've seen the Mark Hamill voice acting stuff for it.
He is technically in it, but he doesn't have a big role.
Do you recommend Invincible?
I do, yeah. It baits the first episode baits you into thinking that it's going to be just like a standard superhero kind of, old school kind of.
Yeah, because they're in like spandex costumes and stuff.
Yeah. And then after the end of season one, after the end of episode one, it completely shatters that, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
so. If you're not hooked after season or after episode one, or you're like this isn't for me, then yeah.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
It's not for children though.
It's kind of got it is. Yeah, it's got an all-star voice acting cast. Like holy smokes,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Well, Steven Yeun is one of the voice actors for the show, and he did the first season of Beef. I'm now watching the second season of Beef, which is a Netflix
Look at that transition.
show.
Look at that transition.
Look at that. I found that one.
Woo!
Scraped that one out of there.
Fantastic.
First season of Beef was incredible, by the way. I don't know if you saw it.
I watched one episode and I was like, I don't know. So I just stopped. Do you think it's worth picking it back up?
I do, but let me just put it this way. Because if you didn't like the first episode, it might not be for you. Because it is sort of a show where you're enjoying people just spiraling out of control, and they just keep spiraling more and more and more.
Yeah.
I like it because the characters are so kind of exaggerated that they're like semi-relatable, but also you're like, this person is kind of crazy, or they're like, they have a little bit of grounding in reality, but they're also so hyperbolic that I can detach from it enough to enjoy their spiral to a degree. If it was too relatable, I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to watch something about like somebody like me, like spiraling and having a horrible life or something. So I really liked season 1. Season 2 is out. It's got Oscar Isaac in it as one of the leads, and really good cast again.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cast is quite impressive for it.
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's fun. It's sort of like a look into the season 1 was like this too, but sort of a look into just the lifestyles of like these ultra wealthy and what they do and what gets them down. And they're all kind of narcissistic and upset by petty things in life and whatnot.
So a normal Tuesday for you.
Basically. Yeah. I'm like, this isn't the kind of caviar I like, throw it back.
Butler.
Yeah. Really good performances with Beef season 2. I'm liking it. The writing's really fun. The characters are really fun. It's not pretentious. A lot of these shows try and get really highbrow and pretentious. And this one's sort of like, no, we're just going to like let you enjoy these characters and let them sort of spiral at a rate that's just on the edge of convincing, right? Where you're like, I could see them maybe making this choice if they made that choice. I could maybe see them make this next choice because of that choice. I could maybe. So it's like, it's just on the edge of believable. It's over the top,
but believable.
Yeah. So, and like the goal is to like really get these otherwise normal characters that you're like, yeah, I know people like this, whatever, just to get them to spiral so far that you're like, by the end of the show, they're just completely off the walls doing crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
it's fun. I'm sure it's really fun for the actors, and I'm sure it's really fun for the writers to create a show like that.
Nice.
So I like it. I think Oscar Isaac's really good in those types of roles where like, I just think of like his role in Ex Machina or something where he just plays this like totally wild dude.
Just a wild man. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not quite that in this, which is cool. He's a little more normal. In fact, he's maybe one of the more grounded characters, which is funny. But he's definitely somebody who also spirals. So, it's good. I recommend it.
Cool.
Indeed. Now, Matt, you're an Xbox Game Pass owner, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how much you pay a month for your subscription? Do you remember how much it is?
So I think I'm on technically the PC Game Pass now.
Yeah.
So I think it's like around $15, something
I think
like
you're
that.
right. Yeah, 15 or 16, something like that.
Because they went up to like $30 and it's like, nope, I ain't paying for that anymore. But then I was told that there's a PC version, so I just switched to that. But like to find the PC version, you had to like click on more and be like, oh, there it is. I see it now. So they're clearly trying to like hide it from people, which I get, but at the same time, screw you.
Yeah. Well, so I think Xbox is realizing, and from what I've heard from like industry people too, is like Game Pass is kind of like their bread and butter. Like outside of Game Pass, they're not making a lot of money with the Xbox brand. So it's all about optimizing Game Pass, and their new CEO or leader of Xbox, I don't know what the official title is, something of Xbox, head of Xbox. That's usually what they called Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer. So the new one, Asha Sharma, I think is her name, said that they're going to break up the pricing a lot and try and make it like just a better deal and something like that. So everybody's expecting a price reduction, but it might also come at the cost of some of their bigger titles like Call of Duty and
Call of Duty
not
be included.
Yeah, because they're estimating that they lost like $300 million last year on like COD being in the Game Pass.
Jesus.
Because I mean, COD's a huge title, right? So it's a lot of people would just normally buy the game, but if it's in Game Pass, they're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to buy it now. And apparently that might have been around $300 million in lost revenue. So
it didn't help that the recent Call of Duty was kind of cheeks.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is you're like, well, here's what our graph says, but also we're not accounting for the fact that the game might just suck.
Was pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what Xbox does, because they're really pushing towards this PC Xbox hybrid thing, which man, they should have been doing that a decade ago. I really don't know why they didn't start that earlier, but I guess better late than never, unless they die before they get to fully realize that dream, which I hope they don't. But I like Xbox as a platform. I'm sort of nostalgic for it in the same way that I'm nostalgic for Bungie. You know, Bungie and Xbox kind of came into the limelight together, like for everybody to know about like them at the same time. I'm like, it's part of my childhood. I don't want Xbox to die. I think they're a really important competitor for Sony. Like, we got to have them.
I mean, I don't think they're going to die anytime soon. It'd be pretty wild for them to invest so much money into Activision Blizzard and all these other companies. Yeah. I mean, they own so many companies now. To be like, and we're out, is like, that would be bad for the gaming industry. It'd be very bad. That's almost like having monopolies is not great for anything.
Yeah.
Who could have seen that coming?
They wouldn't die like just outright, but like they could make enough bad decisions around the console platform to really hamstring them enough where they just have to sell off all of their assets at some super discounted rate. So it's like the brands that they own, I don't think would just evaporate because Xbox dies. No, Microsoft would sell them, and then somebody else would own Halo Industries or whatever, and etc. But yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes, because Game Pass is sort of the bread and butter, and if they're gonna like completely redesign it, I'm curious about that. I really do.
I don't know how they would do it, because like would they start because it's like the worry not the worry, but because you have like different tiers of Netflix now and Amazon where it's like, well, you can get our basic package for $8.99, but you now have to watch ads all the time. It's like, well, how you like
Well,
cool.
there was rumors about, and I can't remember if this was from a leak or something like that, where they're talking about pairing it with like Netflix or something, where you know, like Disney Hulu is like a popular combo. Like Netflix and Xbox and Game Pass. You're like, okay, like I could see that being really appealing to some people, you know. So
I normally wouldn't have gotten this, but because I'm getting a little bit of a deal, I now have Xbox Game Pass.
Well, let me ask you, do you have a Netflix subscription?
I do, yeah.
So if Xbox Game Pass and Netflix, if it saves you $10 and you get the $30 version of Game Pass and the like HD version of Netflix streaming, like, okay, you probably go for it, right?
The $30 is just nuts because like that the whole point of it was to be a deal, right? So you don't have to be spending money on games all the time. But if like 2 months goes by and every two, and we're not getting a big AAA game every 2 months from Xbox, right? 3 months goes by, you've now spent more money on Game Pass when you were only really going to be getting the big new game. So it's like you're wasting money that way.
I think it comes down to how much you play, right? Because I mean,
and what kind of games you're playing, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, if you play the crap out of a lot of different games, like if you like these single player games like Pragmata or whatever, and they last you 12 hours, okay, and you beat one, maybe two a week or something like that, which I could easily see being somebody's jam, then this pass would very much quickly pay for itself, right? So I don't know. You're right. It depends what types of games you play.
Right. But the whole model is to keep people on it forever. They don't want people unsubscribing. So if you're someone who is like using this like a Netflix or any subscription service for watching TV where you subscribe for a month or two and then you binge everything and then you leave and then you come back when there's more content, right? Then yeah, I would agree. But they don't want that. They want you sticking around, right? So you would hope that they would have enough. And I don't know if they have the catalog to justify that for $30 a month, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah. And maybe that'll change because they have been ingesting a lot of stuff. So maybe that's going to pay off eventually. But it's also hard to imagine that with the major downturn in AAA development and stuff like that compared to how the scales are shifting and whatnot. But it'll be interesting. I am really excited about their Helios, I think it's called, their hybrid system, and also Valve's upcoming Steam Cube, whatever it's called. I like those ideas. Big fan of the hybrid system. Big fan of the idea of PC gaming becoming as accessible as console gaming, essentially. I think that's really good for the market, and I'm still mind blown that it just wasn't started like a decade ago for whatever reason. But we're getting there now, finally, I think they just enjoyed having their own private ecosystems. They're like, no, we're going to maintain all this control. And now that control is sort of not that profitable, they're like, oh, okay, fine. How about this cool hybrid thing? And it's like, that was the obvious choice a while ago. But now financial incentive or survival rather is pushing them that direction.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you want to wrap things up there, Matt?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for dropping by the Level With Me podcast. We appreciate y'all very much. We're live, or not live, but we drop the episode every Wednesday. But if you want to watch us live, you can check out our Patreon subscriptions and then come watch us record the show live on every Monday. And then we have a little post-podcast chat about anything that interests us that could be outside of the gaming world. And we'd love to see y'all there. But regardless, every week, Matt is going to leave you with some extremely helpful advice.
So this week's extremely helpful advice is don't be afraid to lower the difficulty. The reason I bring this up is that Pragmata, when I was describing it, sounds like a really hard game for like someone who's maybe not very good at games, right? Third-person shooter, I have to aim and also hack and dodge at the same time. Just lower the difficulty. Also, I think there's a mod that will or mod or an upgrade that will auto hack for you. So it can make it definitely facilitate and lower the skill ceiling a little bit. So yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. I like games that give you progression trees to alleviate parts of the experience that you don't like as much.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And
okay.
you don't have to I never interacted with the auto hack, but it's there if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Cyberpunk when you're just like, I'm just going to hack everybody and kill them because I don't feel like shooting them now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can do that.
And you can do that. You don't even have to engage in hand-to-hand combat. It's great.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.